It's small, consistent actions. I don't do anything 8 hours a day. I break it down 20 minutes a day, but I do it 5, 6, 7 days a week.
You're listening to the Ecom X Factor podcast, the show that brings you the best and most updated digital marketing hacks and tips. Welcome to the show. This is Kevin, the producer. Today's episode is exciting because Yaron is interviewing Nathan Hirsch, CEO and founder of Outsource School, an online platform that teaches entrepreneurs how to hire virtual assistants and build virtual teams while scaling. Nathan recently sold his company FreeUp, which is an online marketplace for hiring pre-qualified virtual assistants. In this episode, Yaron and Nathan talked about many topics related to hiring and building your team. From the importance of the onboarding process to how to fully maximize the support you get from your VAs, and most common mistakes every entrepreneur should try to avoid when hiring freelancers. Yaron and Nathan shared some awesome tips to make your life as a business owner easier. So let's get started, and if you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts or in any streaming app you're using. Let us know what you want to hear next on the Ecom X Factor podcast. Alright, so here's Yaron and Nathan. Enjoy!
Welcome to the Ecom X Factor podcast, where it's all about launching and scaling your business using sales funnels, automations, and smart marketing. And now, please welcome your host, the founder of Ecom X Factor, Yaron Bin.
Hi Nathan, how are you doing? I'm so glad to have you with us on the Ecommerce Factor podcast. So you founded FreeUp and now you manage Outsource School, which is a very cool platform for teaching how to delegate and how to hire freelancers and much more. But before we get started, can you tell us a bit about your backstory and how you got started running your businesses?
Growing up, my parents were both teachers, and I always grew up with the mentality that I was going to go to school, get a real job, work for 30 years, retire, and that was going to be my life. And my parents growing up always made me get these jobs, summer jobs, winter jobs, and I was working 20 to 40 hours a week during every possible vacation. And so I learned so much about marketing and sales and business, but I also learned that I hated having a boss. So by the time I got to college, I felt like I had seen what life was like after college, what having a boss and having a real job was, and I wanted no part of it. And so I kind of looked at college as a ticking clock. I had 4 years to start my own business, or I was going to go into the real world and have to get a job. So I started hustling and buying and selling people's textbooks, competing with my school bookstore. I would offer more money. I created a little referral program. And before I knew it, there were lines out the door of people trying to sell me their books, to the point where I got a cease and desist letter from my college telling me to knock it off. So that was my first glimpse into being an entrepreneur. And from there, I had sold some books on Amazon, and I thought it was so cool. I could have this 24/7 storefront, and I just had to figure out what to sell. So I started doing trial and error on Amazon, seeing what works, what didn't, and I eventually came across baby products. If you can imagine me as a 20-year-old single college guy selling baby products on Amazon, and this business grew. I was drop shipping before I even knew it was called drop shipping, and as it grew, I had to start hiring people. So I started off hiring college kids, and they proved to be very, very unreliable. And I tried hiring people from the real world, and adults didn't want to work for a 20-year-old entrepreneur. So a buddy of mine introduced me to the remote hiring world, and I hired my first virtual assistant, my second virtual assistant, hired some good, some bad, spent a lot of time figuring out how to work with virtual assistants, coming up with a really good hiring process, the same process that I use and teach today. But I love the VA and freelancer space so much, but I hated the Upworks and the Fiverrs of the world. It just took too long to post a job, get 100 applicants, interview them one by one, and I kept looking for something faster. So one day I said, you know what, I'm going to build my own marketplace that pre-vets VAs and freelancers before we let them on the platform. We match them up with clients quickly, so you don't have to go through 50 people. On the back end, have great support, great protection, and we launched this company called FreeUp with a $5,000 investment, and we just took it to market and listened for feedback. And luckily, people really like this concept, and we grew and we invested into our software, our marketplace, and we grew that from a $5,000 investment to $1 million to $5 million to $9 million to $12 million in 2019 before being acquired by one of our clients, the Hoth, which is a whole nother story I can get into if you want. But once we were acquired and we helped with the transition, and they're great, we have a great relationship with them. We made sure our team was taken care of. We took $500,000 from the sale, gave it to our team in the Philippines, made sure their jobs were secure. And we grew this entire business with no office, no US employees. It was just me, my business partner, and 35 remote VAs in the Philippines. So once we sold it, people started asking us if we could teach them our systems, our processes, how we were able to scale consistently with VAs, keep them around, get the most out of them. And so we launched this new venture called Outsource School, which is really 3 parts. The first part is what we call cracking the VA code. We give people our exact interview, onboarding, training, and managing process. The second part is our SOP shop. We call them formulas and playbooks. SOPs are standard operating procedures. So we give people all of our SOPs, everything from operations like how to have a VA work out of your inbox, how to have a VA do your bookkeeping or customer service, to marketing, how to hire a VA to get you on podcasts, to do partnerships, to do backlinks. And so we're constantly coming out with new formulas, new playbooks every single month. And then even though we teach you how to make really good SOPs in the fundamentals in cracking the VA code, we know there are going to be SOPs that we can't teach you that are specific to your business. So we have this software that we built for ourselves called Simply SOP that allows you to put all your SOPs in one place, video, text. It's very dynamic. It's easy to share, easy to update. And so you can go to Outsource School, outsourceschool.com, and get any of these 3 things separate. Or if you become an Outsource School Insider, which is our yearly membership, you get access to everything, plus our support, plus our community. So that's my story of how I went from a broke college kid to books, to baby products, to free up, and now Outsource School.
Wow, that's a great story about developing a business and understanding a need and following your passion. It's amazing. Really awesome. So you're basically the virtual assistants and systems expert. So can you tell us a bit about common misconceptions or mistakes that people do when they're hiring virtual assistants, or in the whole way they approach hiring and operating with virtual assistants?
A lot of people, when they say the word virtual assistant, they mean anyone that works from home. And what I like to do is break it down a little bit further. So there are 3 levels of people you can hire: followers, doers, and experts. And one of the biggest misconceptions or biggest mistakes that I see people make is they're hiring the wrong levels, or they're using the levels wrong. So we'll start with followers. When I say the word virtual assistant, I'm just talking about the followers. These are $5 to $10 an hour, non-US. They might have years of experience, but they're there to follow your systems, your process. If you don't have systems and processes, you're going to struggle to hire the followers. You can't just say, hey, I don't know how to run Facebook ads, go run my Facebook ads. That's not going to work out too well for you. You need systems and processes. Then you've got the doers, the graphic designers, the video editors, the writers. You're not teaching a graphic designer how to be a graphic designer, but they're not consulting with you either. They're there to do that one task at a high level. And then you got the experts, the high-level freelancers, consultants, agencies, and they bring their own system, their own process to the table. They bring strategy. And just like you wouldn't hire a follower without systems and processes and steps, you wouldn't hire an expert and say, hey, I'm going to pay you top dollar. You've had experience doing it your way, but I'm going to teach you my system, my process. That doesn't make sense either. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions is people think they can hire a virtual assistant, hire a follower without the process, without directions, and their business is going to grow and their life is going to become easier, when that's not the case. You need standard operating procedures. You need systems if you're going to hire the followers. And if you don't have those systems, you have to hire the doers or the experts.
Oh, I love it. I totally agree. I mean, there are different types of workers, as you mentioned, and different levels, and you can expect to get really high quality work if you only pay like $5 per hour. So this is crazy. And people have to understand that in order to get quality work, they need to invest or create good systems that their virtual assistants can follow easily. What are some more mistakes that you see very often when people are hiring virtual assistants or workers?
So biggest mistakes you often see in hiring virtual assistants. So let me give you some other mistakes. whenever someone comes to me and they say, hey, I've had issues with virtual assistants, I haven't had the success that you've had or whatever it is, I always ask them, how did you onboard them and what kind of meetings are you having with them? So onboarding, I like to break down hiring into 4 parts: interviewing, onboarding, training, and managing. And onboarding is probably the most important one, and it's the one that gets skipped the most. Most people know they have to interview the VA, but then they jump from interviewing to training. And what we teach people to do is have a step in between the interviewing and the training where you get on the same page. You set expectations with the virtual assistants. We call it our SICK method, SICC, which is schedule, issues, communication, culture. And you're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes with the VA going over schedule, going over common issues VAs have and what the backup plans are. You're going to go over the communication channels you use and what's expected. You're going to go over your culture and how they have to be a good culture fit. And you're going to give them a chance to ask questions, and you're going to give them a chance to back out. And we teach you this full process at Outsource School, but just this 20 to 30 minute meeting will save you so much time and hassle down the line dealing with issues and people not following directions and not communicating. So don't forget to have an onboarding process in place, and don't forget to meet with your VAs. There's a few types of meetings, and again, we give the meeting templates at Outsource School, but the all hands on deck meeting every Monday, get your entire team on the same page. Then every team should have a meeting each week. So your social media team, your bookkeeping team. Then you should have a one-on-one meeting with your VA every quarter. If you have a business partner like me, we divide up the VAs, we do one-on-one meetings, and we use that as an opportunity to give them a little bonus, give them feedback, share goals with the company, answer their questions, listen to their ideas, listen to their feedback, motivate them. And by having these 3 types of meetings, that is going to really keep your VA engaged, motivated, get them to buy into your company. And I think one of the biggest mistakes is people don't have those meetings very consistently. And you can eventually hire people to do those meetings for you. Like we had at FreeUp, we had team leaders who were running the bookkeeping meeting. They were running the customer service meeting. We didn't have to attend every meeting, although we did some of them, but you have to have those consistent meetings.
Oh, this is great stuff. Yeah. Constant communication and consistent meetings and setting expectations and giving feedback and hearing how are they feeling and seeing if they have ideas and let them be part of the team. And communicating is also very important. Totally agree with you over this. What about some easy and quick wins that anybody can do when they are like just starting to hire? What do you suggest doing?
So the first 2 hires that I make for every business is hiring a bookkeeper and hiring someone to get me out of my inbox. So with bookkeeper, I need to be on top of my numbers from day one, and bookkeepers can be part-time. I hired my first bookkeeper like 5 hours a month. But me as an entrepreneur, I shouldn't be doing bookkeeping. That doesn't grow my business, doesn't scale my business. So for me, that's one of the first things I want to get off my plate. I want bookkeeping done right. I want that information. The second is I hire a VA before I wake up. I start my day at 7 a.m., but I hire them from 5 to 7 a.m. to clear my emails. Leave any important emails for me. We have a playbook called the Inbox Management Playbook that teaches you how to do this, but they run my email, they clear it out so that when I wake up, I don't have to spend an hour in my inbox. I can answer those important emails and then get started with whatever my most productive thing of the day is. So I think those are 2 things that I recommend all entrepreneurs just get off their plate early. And on the marketing side, going on podcasts. If you're not going on podcasts once a week, and we have a podcast outreach formula, you're really missing out. I go on 1 podcast every single day because it's great for networking. It's great for backlinks and SEO. It's great for a snowballing effect that leads to better opportunities, speaking appearances, Facebook Live, virtual summits, bigger podcasts, whatever it is. It's a great way to get in front of thousands of people at once, and it complements all of your other marketing efforts. If you're running Facebook ads and you have partnerships and backlinks, and people are going to see you on podcasts, it's going to get them to trust you. There's going to be a brand element. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, hey, I heard you on 4 podcasts, and then I signed up for your service. So get on podcasts, hire a VA to do podcast research, teach them how to do it at a high level, and you're going to thank yourself down the line when you've been on lots of podcasts, your name's all over Google, and you've built all these relationships, and people know who you are.
That's some great advice regarding how to improve your SEO efforts and get your brand name or your personal brand name out there and get a lot of backlinks that you mentioned, and also networking. So if you're already handing out advice, can you share a bit of would be your best advice for a beginning entrepreneur or any entrepreneur starting to develop his career and looking to gain more followers and increase the brand awareness?
So for me, one of the biggest advice that I can give is to map out your ideal day. Figure out what that is. I have a VA that helps me stay accountable to it. But for me, from 7 to 9 a.m., that's when I'm most productive. That's when I'm doing the biggest thing of the day. Then I work out for an hour. Get away from my computer, intense workout. I'm a big believer in health. Then I do my one podcast of the day between 11 and 1. I usually do in the afternoon. I realized I don't like doing in the morning. I don't like doing it at night. Afternoons when I do my podcast. And then I do my phone calls and meetings later on in the day where I don't have to be in my office. From 1 to 3, I can walk the dogs. I can be outside and do it all from my phone. So that's my ideal day. And then after that, I can read. I can hang out with my fiance and all of that. But I map out my ideal day and I try to do my ideal day as much as possible. And there's always going to be exceptions. Sometimes you have to tweak your schedule and all that. But if you don't know what your ideal day is, you're going to be all over the place. It's going to be crazy. You're going to have days that aren't as much fun as other days. So figure out what your ideal day is. I talk about this a lot in my calendar management playbook that you can get in the Outsource School Process Shop. And I mean, having a VA keep you accountable is so good. Like when someone invites me on a podcast, I send to my VA, they say, hey, Nate already has booked up a podcast a day for all these days. Let's schedule them here. And that way I don't wake up like this happened to me a few years ago where I have 5 podcasts in one day. And by the end of the day, I can't even talk. So figure out what your ideal day is and stick to it. And the second thing, which is the question was, what contributes to your success? It's small, consistent actions. I don't do anything 8 hours a day. I break it down 20 minutes a day, but I do it 5, 6, 7 days a week. So, I mean, even on the personal side, I'm learning Vietnamese. I'm not learning Vietnamese 8 hours a day. I'm doing it 15 minutes a day every single day. When I'm building a masterclass, which I'm building now, I'm not doing it 8 hours a day. I'm working on it 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, and 2 weeks later, it's done. So for me, it's the small, consistent actions over time. It's not the people that just go all out and just burn themselves out real quick and then don't work on it for 2 weeks. It's small, consistent actions every single day.
You know, they say, obviously you know it, slow and steady wins the race. I'm also a big believer in incremental, small progress. There's a Japanese principle which I try to live by, which is Kaizen, which is exactly this. Incremental, small progress, and every day just consistently improving and optimizing everything. What about some good books? Have you been reading any good books lately, or any good books that are really inspired you or gave you great ideas?
Books I've read lately, Shoe Dog, great one. It's Phil Knight's book on how he started Nike. I mean, if you're listening and you think that you've gone through adversity, wait till you read that book. I mean, he's been sued. He had lost his supplier. He had so many money issues, didn't pay himself for years. Such an incredible, motivating story that I'm all about. And a book that I'm actually just started is One to Many, which is all about creating that perfect webinar and getting in front of lots of people at once, which is a great book I recommend.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about these 2 books. Actually, a hard copy of the book of Nike founder, but I haven't read it yet. I'm definitely going to check it out. And what about any quotes? Do you have any quotes that you live by?
So growing up, my mom always said, work hard, play hard. And I kind of live my life by that. If I play baseball and softball now, I go all out when I'm on the field. When I'm in business, I go all out every day. When I'm with my friends, I'm having fun. Like, it's just that mentality of being all in anything that you're doing. And it's something that I live by.
Nice. That's so cool that your mom actually taught you this phrase, like work hard, play hard. Definitely agree. Your mom sounds so cool. What about any apps, any softwares that you've been using lately? Do you have anything to recommend us or the listeners?
I use this app called Wordboard on my phone where I preload all the common questions and I preload the answers to all the common questions that people send me. So if someone sends me a Facebook message or a text or whatever it is, I can click a button and it has that answer ready to go. And man, that saves me so much time throughout the year. It's not even funny.
Nice. I'm actually thinking of downloading this app as we speak. Cool. Awesome. What about like one thing that you wish you knew when you just started?
So I came from the Amazon space and I had no idea how to hire. And so I learned how to hire from the Amazon space. And then I was able to apply that to FreeUp and hire rock stars from day one, which helped me. But I had no idea how to market. So I had to learn marketing for the first few years of FreeUp. And then we sold FreeUp, and now I know how to hire, I know how to market, and now I can apply that to outsource school. And then now I'm learning how to build a membership site and do more with paid ads and learning new things. So to me, I think the marketing piece is key, but man, I wish I knew how to hire back in the day. I mean, I spent years, probably a good 5 years of wasted time and money just hiring the wrong people, not having a system, figuring out the system and the process. And it's really why I built Outsource School, to give entrepreneurs an opportunity to skip it, because I know that people can, they can figure it out themselves. It can be done. I did it, but I always wish there was someone that said, hey, here's the step-by-step, what to do, what not to do, the system to follow to make good hires, because everyone's teaching the latest marketing tactic and all of that. But if you can't hire, your business is going to go in circles. Hiring is the number one skill you have to know as an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs that don't have that skill just struggle and struggle and struggle and go in circles and have setbacks and have turnover. So to me, I wish that I knew how to hire before even starting my first business. I would be well past where I am right now. It is the skill set to learn.
I couldn't agree more. Like the power, the advantage, the leverage that hiring correct people and hiring correctly and having automations and delegations in place can really boost and impact your business like in a crazy way. So thank you so much about this, Nathan. What about some closing thoughts before we finish this recording?
So when you're hiring, it can be easy to get overwhelmed and you think you want to have a team of 4 full-time people, whatever it is. But with FreeUp, I mean, I didn't wake up one day and hire 35 full-time people. I started small, I increased hours, I added more people, I diversified, and I want people listening to focus on getting 5 hours a week back. If you can focus on how do I get the easiest task off my plate, hire a virtual assistant for 5 hours a week, $5 an hour, that's $25 an hour or $25 a week. That is a great starting point. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to stop doing the tasks that you hate doing that are repetitive. You're going to be able to feel more confident. You can increase the hours after that. So start with 5 hours a week. It's a great starting point, and I recommend all entrepreneurs figure out a way to get 5 hours a week back, because it's going to be motivating and addicting, and it's going to help you delegate going forward.
I totally agree. I mean, time is the most valuable asset, and if you can only get at least 5 hours back every week to develop your business and to gain more knowledge, it can make a huge difference in your whole business. And it's actually much, much easier than people think it is. And as you mentioned, it becomes addictive. Once you start outsourcing and seeing good results, you just want to delegate more and more and more and grow your business. Cool. So where can people reach out to you, connect with you, follow your stuff?
I am very available. I'm one of the easiest people to contact. Nathan Hirsch on Facebook or LinkedIn, Real Nate Hirsch on Instagram or Twitter. Feel free to message me. If you go to outsourceschool.com, you can actually book a call with me right on the website. You can grab a free trial of what we call Outsource School Insider, which is our membership. You get access to everything if you become a member. And yeah, check it out. We'd love it. If you're serious about skipping that trial and error phase and just getting a proven process for hiring great VAs, scaling your business, or even if you don't want to scale your business, you just want to get your time back, check out Outsource School, and you can find a lot about me and my business partner Connor there as well. So thanks so much for having me.